Hello everyone. Just finding the video real quick. Okay, nope. Again. We are okay, go play. You can see my hair again. So sorry. Right, and there we go. So, hello everyone, or hello Di. Right, so tonight we're going to be doing a canvas. So we've done a few weeks in our art journal, so we're going outside of our art journal this week, or our artist book, depending on what you want to call it. And we're going to do a canvas instead. So we've got this Craft portrait one. The size is 30 centimeters by 15 centimeters wide. So they label theirs in centimeters instead of inches. Some companies do it in inches, some do it in centimeters. It's up to them personally. It does get a little bit confusing though. But you know, that's what we live with. Oh, hello Pam. And we're going to be making a bee-like canvas today with some of the fussy cuts from paper number 6 and a few fussy cuts from a new Fussy Cut Essentials, but we'll show you those in a minute. And we've also got, I'm not really sold on if we're going to use the stamps or not. I'm still trying to figure that one out. Oh, hello Tash and Pam and Raquel. I don't know if we will need the stamps because we've got a few bits and pieces here. Definitely going to use a BU though. Let's see. And where's my honeycomb stencil? I had my honeycomb stencil here a minute ago. Oh, dearie, dear doctor. Shiver me timbers. That's my mouth, by the way. Hey, Mealy. Can you go and ask Mum where the honeycomb stencil is?
Have you started?
Yeah, honeycomb stencil.
Oh, yeah, Don't open it and let them all come out. Let's be somewhere specific when you open it.
Be somewhere specific when you open it. Alright.
So she opens it walking along.
Yeah. I believe that when I see it. Right, let's get started, I think. Let's see, we're going to need a green.
Queen bee.
Queen bee.
Here we go.
There we are. Look at that.
There are more bits coming when Magical Memories gets released.
More
There's bits that go with this that go with it.
But they'll be able to get them with the kit.
Yes, so they will come in.
Where's that yellow paint, by the way?
The yellow paint we bought today. Oh, what about this?
I've got gold. Oh, yeah.
What about this?
Just trying to get a nice contrast. It's not really.
I'll get you some of your leaves so that you know what colour.
Yeah. Just trying to build my colours now while we're looking at the stencil.
It's more of a grey.
More of a grey. I've got this caution cream.
Yeah, probably those two mixed.
Yeah, right here. There we go.
Be careful with your backpack thing there, because that's
Yeah, I know.
a trick hazard. You want the one that will trip over it.
Mm-hmm.
And you clutch it.
There we go. Right, so let's get started. Oh, hello Karen L. Hello Daiji. Right. Goes up here and let's get started, I think. So we just want to come in and we want to do some background stenciling first and then do our like collage layer with our actual paper, some more stenciling, and then come and do our rice paper, and then really build up our texture bits and pieces, like, you know, our fine points. So let's come in and start. I think this leaf stencil, we're going to do a mixture of the Cotton Cream and the Forest Art by Marlene paint, as then we get like kind of a similar color to our Magical Memories Paper 6 paint colors. So just come in. By the way, this is the third weekend in a row that my desk has been clean. Third week in a row that my desk has been clean. So I think I've actually been using it as well. So it's not like I just haven't touched it. So we might be creating some new habits. How long does it take to create a new habit? 26 days or something? Well, it's 3 weeks. That's 3 times 7. 21. Oh, we only have 5 days left. Oh my gosh. 5 days. It could be a new habit. But I feel like crafting at a clean desk is more than a 26-day event to keep it as a habit. I feel like it's going to take a lifetime. And once again, this week, we're not blending the colors on our actual mat. We just have them sitting side by side. And we dab into them. We get both colors on the blending brush. And then we come and blend it out. And ta-da! So as you can see, we had it a bit too thick. Obviously, when the stencil, because the canvas is going to warp from the pressure of us putting a stencil down, it is going to cause a few problems with bulging. So we want to make sure we don't have too much paint on our blending brush as we go through the process. And then remembering to do the sides because we've got a thick canvas tonight. Oh, hello, Dee. Just got to remember to do the sides. And of course, reapplying that paint. So then we get a different paint color every time. It also becomes a little bit more natural then. And there we are. There we are. I'm just coming in and adding a bit of green up and down to match our ferns down there. And then you just come in. And we want this next one to be mainly cotton cream, I think. So that's a bit lighter than our bottom ferns or stencil sprigs. I don't know what you want to call them. Oh, hello, Debbie and Chloe. Oh, thanks, Chloe. Yes, it is a very nice stencil. I do believe it's up. I don't know. It's one of the newer ones that we've designed. I draw them, and then Mum does what she likes with the drawings to make them into designs. You know, sometimes she edits them. Sometimes they stay fully in their own version that I give them. But most of the time, she edits them into like it to be a bit thicker or a bit less detailed. Because I overcomplicate things. Tends to be a habit. I don't know if it's a positive one or not. I'm still waiting to figure that one out. Right, there we go. The main thing is we want to try and keep some light areas in this process. We don't want to fully cover it in the first layer. We don't want that. We want to keep some light spaces in this whole process. So we're going to try and keep our blending brush usable. by making sure we remove all the extra paint in it by doing these scrubby bits on the sides here. It also means that it guarantees that we are painting the sides as we go, and we don't have to paint the edges black, because that's why some of my paintings have black edges, because I actually forget to paint the edges as I go, and I can't be bothered once I've done all the layers. I'm like, ha, no thank you. And I just put black around the edge. I know, it's lazy me, but you know, it works. Okay, so we got Pastel Marigold. For our honeycomb, and once again starting on an edge, but a different edge and just off the center. We don't want it to be completely dead on center. Coming in now, because we are using the same blending brush that we used for our green, we are going to get a little bit of that green in this process. That's okay. I'm perfectly fine with that. It means it blends in a little bit more. And if you don't want that, you can change to a different blending brush, clean it in between, or you can just make sure that you always keep your blending brush fully loaded with the Pastel Marigold. We're using blending brushes because it dries really quickly, even though it is quite hot here now. Oh, it's warm. It's not hot. It's warm. It's nice and warm. The sandies have officially come out. It's just lovely. You always seem to forget that they exist until, you know, they come back into full force. And you're like, oh, no, you do exist. But yeah. So we're just coming in. I'm going to try and avoid the heat tool tonight. Okay. And then, yes, some of the really detailed designs. There's a lot of prototyping before you guys see the product, because yeah, some of the stuff, I have ambitions, and the machines don't always agree with mine or Mum's ambitions, and then we've got to, you know, change it up a bit, or cut stuff out, or add things in so that it sticks together. We forget about physics entirely, and like the other day, and had things running into blades, and yeah, it's just, it's a little bit messy. It's all part of the process, and I do try and get video footage of the process, but in those moments when things aren't going particularly well, you just kind of want to sort the solution out, or remember how you fixed it the last time. My initial thought is not to video or take photos. It's to, oh my gosh, how did I fix this last time I did this? So yeah, but maybe in the future it might be my first instinct. Who knows? Right. Yes, fussy machines. Who thought that machines would be fussy? Right, so we've got our first two layers on there, and I think that looks really nice. I'm a little bit shocked but how nice it looks, but I do think it looks really nice. And so this doesn't dry out while we go through our class, because I do want to use our blending brush again in a few layers time. We are going to wet it. We're not going to dunk it, because that means it's going to be absolutely like soaked, and it's not going to dry, and like it won't be usable for the rest of the class. But if we soak the layers with a spritzer, the tip, it will keep the paint from stop getting dry, and we can put it over to the side facing downwards onto the paper, so that if anything leaks out, links onto our messy mat or a piece of like cloth that you don't want to ever use again. Putting that off to the side. Now we're up to the next step, which is adding in these colors here. And I do think, I've had a thought about this, and I actually think if we come in and we use the bracket templates, brackets. I'm sure all of you would have seen them in one of Mom's class videos. Just let me go and grab them real quick. It's these templates. Now, I have, be honest with you, oh, before I forget, this video is also on YouTube in case your Facebook decides to stop working, or in case your YouTube decides to stop working, we are on Facebook. Found my art spray to the bottle today and thought it was great fun spraying everything. Oh, cool. Yeah, sounds about right. They always go for that phase. Can I say? I've had 2 younger siblings. I know nearly every trick in the book because I've performed it myself, or I've seen my older brother perform it, or I've seen one of my younger siblings perform it. Okay. Now, the reason for these brackets is because I actually think, if I can just grab the bottom one off, because we're only going to use the incher if we do use these. I know he is very small.
Can't buy these flowers until the in-store retreat.
You can't buy the flowers until the in-store
These are
retreat.
flowers. You've got one so far.
I've got one flower.
I designed them for my class.
Oh,
I love that.
right. Right. That was wet paint, but yep. Okay.
It's okay. I think it looks good.
Oh, that's the inch.
Flowers are genius.
Yes, Mom, you're a genius. Keep the boss happy. Alright. So this is the bracket, and I think it'll look really cool because it's kind of like honeycomb, but it's just a little bit different enough that we could actually make a pattern of them. And it's going to continue to bring in these leaves because I definitely want to make like a bunch here, like a cluster that kind of comes out of the girl with the BU on it there. But to do that, we need to bring in a bit more of these colors. So we're just going to come and I think do this way because then it's not really bulky and all the rest of it. It should be really nice. I'm going to trace it and then cut it because my craft knife abilities leave something to be desired. I am not the best at using a craft knife. I'm not going to attempt it on a video. And like, I know it's okay to make mistakes on videos, but we try to avoid showing blood on videos. Your accidents is literally yesterday during making a project for the in-store retreat coming up, I've actually sliced one of my knuckles with a piece of paper and given myself a deep paper cut, not just a normal paper cut, a deep paper cut. So, you know, if I'm able to give myself quite a deep cut, which you can tell by the colour of the blood when it comes out, by the way, just a heads up. Fun fact from Naomi today, we're not going to be using a craft knife on our class because that would be dumb. To the point of, oh my gosh, why would you do that? So this is just a little bit longer, but it is an option for all of you who aren't quite comfortable yet with, like I said, using a craft knife to cut around things. I get it. Yeah, I just don't have the coordination, I think. You're going to need a fair few of these, so, well, not a fair few, just a few. There we go. And that's our inch one, so we're just going to put that up there in case we need it anymore. We're not going to put it back on the ring straight away. Cut around the bits and put our spare paper up where it can go. And then come in a fussy cut. Ideally, you could do this on the back of the piece of paper you want to use. I probably should have, but I don't mind lead pencil markings. I am using my Timmy's. However, you guys can use your fussy cut scissors for this, or your sharper pair of scissors. And there we go. So there's one by panel. I actually think that looks really nice. On the other side, it's the fussy cut, but this side, I think that looks really nice. And then if we come in, we do another one. And then here we go. Oh, hello, Dad. Oh, they are really good, Debbie. I think, like, if you just look, I do think they're quite a nice template. Like, that's, you can build a pattern with them, which I quite like. And you've got a few options. I have only made 6, which is a bit of a doozy, so we'll be cutting 1 1/2, so then we get 7. Because, you know, we need odd numbers. It's easier to work in odd numbers. We could try sticking with evens, but we'll see how we go. I'm probably going to cut 1 1/2. Because I'm not into doing extra fussy cutting. There's a reason why Mum is cutting my leaves and my flowers tonight. And that is not because I can't. It's just because, well, I prefer colour cuts. I'm not patient. When I'm on the couch watching something and I need something to do, I'm writing or reading or painting. Not cutting. Sorry. Right, but in saying that, look how cool that looks. So we've got one cluster up there. And if we do cut this one in half, and we put this one here, and we're going to put this one down here, but we're going to put this one on top of the rice paper, because I think we're going to do a bit of rice paper here. So we're going to remove that one and put it in a safe space, but we're not going to forget it. A safe spot. We're not going to forget it. And let's come in and stick down these ones here with some glue. Using our gel medium, which our tube is a little bit coloured. Just a tinsy bit. Oh, dear me, that's a bit too much. Right, so we're just going to come in and... Sometimes this happens when you get too much out of the tube at once. That's okay. Okay. Okay, stick that one down there. And now what we're going to come and do is I think we're going to come and add a little bit of our pearlescent yellow and then add in some of our rice paper elements. Actually, before we add in a bit of that pearlescent, we might come in and stick down just a few, not many, just like 3 leaves down. So then we start building a bit of a base between our layers. Okay, I'm just doing this with our gel medium. I personally use matte, but you can use gloss if you want. I use matte a lot. Sometimes I go to gloss when I'm out of matte, just because I prefer how the matte finishes. I'm sorry. No, well, I'm not sorry. It's a personal choice. Like, you guys can choose. It's just up to your own taste, realistically. I have plenty of friends who prefer the gloss effect. I just prefer matte. So there we are.
Do you need more leaves?
Maybe a few more, if possible.
I've got one more thing of leaves. Have you got more there? Do you want me to cut? On your sheet?
Probably a few more.
It's got paint on it.
Of course it's got paint on it.
Where's your skins?
It's got paint on it. Oh my god, what type of a statement is that? If it didn't have paint on it, you'd be checking my pulse.
Do you need more flowers? Yes.
Probably. I think there's enough flowers, but we'll see. Thank you. See? That's good. What's the best product to use to seal mixed media on wood? Oh dear. Mom? Yeah? Would you think that gel medium matte would be the best to seal mixed media on wood?
What's that?
Debbie H is just asking what's the best product to seal mixed media on wood. I would say gel medium, wouldn't it? Or Dulux.
To seal.
To seal mixed media on wood.
What's the best product to use to seal mixed media on wood? You could use your gel, like your matte gel or your gloss gel, or could spray with a coat of Dulux Duramax.
Dulux.
Duramax. Not Craft.
Not Craft, Duramax.
Not Craft Duramax, just the gloss.
I hope that helps. Right, we're just going to come and add some of our paint brushes. And this is again to add another layer of painting, and it matches the very lightest point on our queen bee's dress. Okay. Okay, and then let's do the next one. Next, which is our rice paper. So we're just going to come in and tear out our honeycomb strip from Queen Bee. This is our collage builder. So it's a bit different from our usual rice papers where you just get a whole bunch of elements on it or a full sheet. This here you've got a few more collage builder items. You've got like a title / quote. You've got a few bigger objects and a few small ones. They really diversify in size. They're not all just the same size, so it's a bit more of a builder. We're trying it out currently. Yeah, and then remembering to do our sides. So this piece here is going to come across and on our side. And then this bit, I think it's going to go there. Right, so let's come in and add these ones down. This was our gel medium. I get called Queen Bee. Oh, hello, Ronnie. Yes, she knew. So it's just coming in and adding our gel medium. Remembering to feather out those edges so it kind of goes into the layers at the base that we've already got. And our yellow isn't, our metallic yellow that we just put down isn't fully dry, which means that it will go a little bit over top and move this slightly, which I think will give an extra layer of blendedness to our honeycomb bits and pieces here. Just be careful not to rub too many holes in it if you want it to stay fully together. I'm trying to keep it fully together, so trying to really keep, you know, a steady hand, not to change my movement as I go. So if I'm going to rub this way, I'm going to rub this way, and I'm not going to start rubbing the other way all of a sudden unless I've picked my finger up and I'm doing it quite gradually the whole way across. Otherwise, like, you can create holes, and I do want my honeycomb to be together on this one. Right, here we go. Okay, and then coming up, just making sure we get those sides. So as you can see, so this is what our front looks like, which I think looks pretty good so far. And then if we come and have a look at our sides, we've done a little bit on each one of them. So we're not leaving it all to the end. I am determined not to leave it all to the end. Okay. So then what we might come and do is we're going to do a little bit more green, I think. And then add a little bit more green and a bit more of our darker honeycomb. And then come in and add the rest of our like rice paper and our cluster of all of our material, of all of our fussy cuts. How does that sound? So let's get started. We might start off with the marigold colour this time around though. starting off at the top here. Grabbing our blending brush. Putting it down, there we are. Now this time around our blending brush is just a little bit more watery. That's because it's still a little bit wet from when we made sure it would stay moist during the class, not dry out. Because I'm not destroying a blending brush. I've got goals. That's not one of them. And we are making the canvas currently overly yellow. So then we've got that space to come in and add that green freely. Right, there we go. And then let's come in and add our green mix. Just remembering to get all that excess yellow off. Yellow is one of those colors that is just a color that just keeps on giving. Right. Forgot how wet the blending brush was then. Wet blending brush can kind of be a little bit unforgiving. Okay, there we go. Now we're not going to do any more blending brush techniques after that. And let's come in. What we're actually going to do. So we're going to come into the middle. Paint around our bracket pieces. We're doing this before we add the main cluster just because it's going to be easier now than later when we've got all these bits on our canvas. Okay, Okay. Power of colour. See, this is why we're adding in the dark bits. I think it definitely looks. Right, we're just adding a little bit of water and dragging that colour down with it. There we go. So then it doesn't look off. Come and do our one down here. This is making our lights and darks. As you can see. And then let's grab some of the cotton cream colour we've got here. Just going to come around the leaf here and get a little bit more detail on our leaf. If you're not 100% comfortable with doing this type of detail, you can always do it with paint markers. And we've got the Pintel paint pens that work really well. I'm not too worried about this step, to tell you the truth, because it's just about going around, and we try and keep our stencils quite simple. Phone. I've got paint on my hands. Sorry.
Hello, Dad?
So sorry about that one.
I'm gonna give you to Mom.
So just coming in, like I said, we're adding in these ones, but if you're not comfortable, you can always use paint markers. They have a similar effect. And then just gonna need to do a bit more cotton cream. So we're going to put a little bit more cotton cream out. And I'm just going to come in I'm not going to do it to each one of the ferns I've stenciled on. I think I'm only going to do it to a few of the leaf sprigs. Well, hello, Rosie. That's okay. Okay, so we've got the first layer. Yeah, I think it looks really nice. I think we're ready for our clusters now. Now we just need our queen bee, because we're going to plan our clusters out. So we're just going to grab her, put out of our rice paper. Second. Okay. So if we sit her there, like so, and have the crown. These are going to be backed by white, I think, so then they're fully opaque. Well, maybe not the crown. The crown might be, I think if we gel medium the crown on, and then white paint / gesso our queen bee on.
I've got to bring the flowers, I can't.
Oh, that would be important.
Have you got enough now?
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Don't forget your Shakespeare.
Yeah, I won't forget my Shakespeare. My little quote. If we modelling paste on the flowers and they've got a bit more height maybe, giving them the dimension they need. Thank you, Dee. I'll lift it up in a minute to show you kind of how I've gone about it. Just a little bit worried about being really heavy here, so we are going to try and even it out with just maybe not too many, but a few bits and pieces on like the nose bits, basically. And then if we come in and grab our quote, which is some Shakespeare, and it says, "Though she be but little, she be fierce." It's from A Midsummer Night's Dream. Do you think that's quite cool? And if we try and... But I definitely want the... Because we've got... I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't see that from down there. We've got the actual reference on the rice paper from where it comes from, because we do believe in creative right at Scrapbook Fantasies. We believe in not plagiarizing. So we've got that, and I want that reference to be seen on the done canvas. So I'm just making sure it can be. Gosh, I wish there was some like sprays if we could spray and it'd all be stuck. Because we've got to lift all these layers up in a moment and try and stick it all down. I just want to get my bees into place. So now I've got a really good idea of where everything's going, and I know, and I'm, you know, I've got the process down pat. Because gluing it, once you've done it once, it's kind of the same every time. You wish you hadn't chose to do collage about halfway through the process of gluing, and then you're at the end you're like, oh, it might have been worth it, and then about an hour later you're like, kind of was, and then about an hour and a half later when you're still trying to get glue off your hands, it's like, was it? And then the next day you're like, probably, definitely, and then a week later you're like, I can't remember what the problem was, and then you do collage again. And you're like, oh. Yep. Or you do something with glue again. You're like, yep, I now remember my pure dislike for glue. But yet, I like collage. So you live with the glue. So I'm just sticking our bees in and around. Oh, thank you. Don't forget other half of the bracket. Oh, yes. Thank you, Di. See, we'll bring our other half of the bracket in. And it actually will sit there. Ta-da! And there we go. So we're done. No, I'm kidding. We have to stick it all together. I wish. Let's get started though, shall we? So what we might do is let's start off with the easy things first. And the easy bits are the bits that aren't a part of the main cluster, which we normally forget to stick down anyway at the end. So let's start off with those and we'll gradually work our way into this central area. So just come in. Instead of doing our usual process, we're putting glue down and a bit of glue on the back of our rice paper elements from our collage builder and just putting them on top. Some of our acrylic paint from Walmart is still a little bit wet. That is okay, because that will seep through the rice paper and it will blend our bees a little bit more, which I think will be quite nice. Well, thanks, Rosie. Right. And coming in and putting down this one here. Right. And then let's lift this one up. Stick down. This one. And stick down our bee quote. Without getting too much of the leaves or any of that stuck in this process. That's what we're doing. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to put all the stuff that goes on top of the bee girl on top of her now. Just going to lift her off. Oh, we stuck on a little bit of wet paint. Truly sorry about that. And then let's get this all stuck. And we're going to keep the bee girl on hand just so we can lift her up and check if we're going into the right segments. But the bits of collage aren't going to be covered, especially while it's still wet, because it means we can check. Okay, yep. And the next is the crown. If you're uncomfortable with using your fingers with gel medium, you can always come in and use a palette knife or a very old paintbrush. It's up to you. I prefer using my fingers. I feel more comfortable using my fingers. Okay. Okay, and then we come in and we slide him on top. I'm just double checking. This actually gets more stuff on top, I think. Okay, and then sorry about my siblings in the background. Amelia is very good at escaping from going to bed on time. She's just a bit of a night owl. Titsy bit. Okay, let's get out our modelling paste now, which we're also going to use as our white paint behind our bee girl. So we're removing her from there. Going to grab our palette knife. We want the coverage on the girl to be quite nearly all covered. It will spread underneath, so don't go straight to the edges because you'll be able to spread it out underneath. This modeling paste is quite thick. Starting from your base and working up to where you want to go, and then just coming in and spreading out that modeling paste and rubbing down the edges so then it's all stuck. There we go. And then let's grab a little bit of glue. Yeah, it's to make her more opaque, or else she would have blended in like these bees here, and you would see the patterns underneath, which would be cool, but it would definitely be harder to see her. And I just kind of wanted it to be easy to see her. In saying that, I've kind of stuffed up here because I didn't get the leaves down in time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and cover that up by putting like a little bit of blending paste on my finger and modeling paste on my finger and blending over the edge of the twig there. So I don't know if you can see that, but I've blended over the edge of that twig. Oh, that's okay. Gareth, hello. I use modeling paste. You can use white gesso. I'm just using modeling paste because I'm about to use modeling paste on the flowers, and I really don't see the point in getting out 2 tubs. Sorry. I just don't. So, you know, because I want the white flowers to have a little bit more raise in them. Like I want them to be raised up a bit more than our leaves and all of our other elements. So we're just going to come in with a small bit of modeling paste on the edge of our palette knife. Put in the middle. Set it down. The middle. Sit it down and just come in and build that cluster. If you're worried it doesn't look the same as when you laid it out the first time, that's okay. Got a few extras. Okay. Just for some controversy, how about some raised leaves as well? Okay. And then let's put the lid back on that one. And now let's add in the last of our collage elements. So we had this half piece of our bracket. Nearly running out of gel medium here. There we go. That cracking out of our flowers. So it's not exactly how we laid it out. I get that. Understand that does do your heading. You can always take photos at home while you're making it, so then you know kind of exactly where each bit's supposed to go. It is a bit hard to let go of that original design because obviously you spend a lot of time on it. That's okay, and I've just come in and I've applied the same green shadow that I did to my top brackets up there. And then so that doesn't look so odd. Come down. So I'm just going to apply it into that point. Thank you. And then got, oh, that bee there is not fully stuck down. Missed the last bit of the edge there. Got rice paper on my fingers, which isn't helping. Okay, and then coming in and sticking down our final bees. Oh, of course. Always how it works, isn't it? Okay, before we come and stick the BU down, just going to grab that green again. And just let it wake onto the bee. Just a little bit. Okay. And now, it's just a little bit too rigid. There we go. Yeah, it looks better. before we stick down the BU, it probably does need to be painted. But we need to just come in with this metallic yellow. Just come in and lighten a few areas up. A fair amount, I think. Once again, I'm just using that finger, coming in. And then grab our watercolor set, fan brush, and see how we've got this reddy brown, almost like a terracotta. Just need to flick that onto the canvas so it doesn't look odd. Make sure that we've got plenty of the pigment on. I'm going to come out from the girl. From the queen. Yep. Definitely just think that just needs to be a bit darker. I do like that. What do you think? And then where's our BU word? Oh dearie. I found it. Yeah, I reckon definitely the dark green. Yeah. So put this in the dark green, put that there. Is our canvas so far? I do like, let's come and paint a BU word with our thin paintbrush. Our dark green paint. Okay. Okay. And then let's just add a little bit more yellow to this section here. Because what we'll do is we'll actually stick the title to the metallic paint, which means that it will stand out a lot more. Making sure that reference is still quite clear. And the crown can still peek through. And coming in. And because we're still working wet on wet, that title should stick down quite nicely. I think we might just need a little bit of gel medium underneath the B, the capital B, not the word B, and underneath the word U. I don't actually know if that's straight. I'm going to turn it around and make sure it is. It's pretty close. Like, to be honest, I'm not really known for sticking my titles down straight. So, like, if it isn't, might just code. If it is, it's a miracle. Okay. But I think that's us done. So that is our Queen Bee canvas. The bundle for this will be up a little bit after class. I've just got to wash my hands, obviously, enough to be able to use my laptop. But after that, yeah, we'll have that up. And thank you all for coming. Oh, hello, Deborah. Oh, it's from the Collage Builder. It's new. It's Queen Bee. Thank you all for your nice comments. Thank you all for watching. If you're watching this later, thank you. We are back tomorrow in our subscription October class group for card making at 7 p.m. Queensland time. I don't know if Mum will have a scribe yet to be determined. But yeah, we'll be back then. And we look forward to seeing you all there. Bye. Have a great night.